Good afternoon. We're going to try this out here. We're going to be loading up a program or a song. And so you might have a blank screen where there's no songs at all on the list. I'm going to create my own. You're going to want to go to keyboard and then click on Smart Piano. Once inside here, what you'll notice are there's a variety of letters. Each letter represents a different chord. So G, if I was to play G, sounds like that. C sounds like that. There's a couple on the left that are DM, AM, EM. Those stand for D minor, A minor, E minor. Those are minor chords. So they have a sad sound to them. The G, C, F are all major chords, as well as the B flat. And we won't be worrying too much about the B diminished chord at this time. The first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is perhaps you want to choose a different instrument. And so you can do that by clicking on the grand piano and then choosing something a little bit different if you so choose, such as maybe the soul organ. So that was a nice C, G, F. At this point, maybe you pause the video and you attempt to find a 3-chord progression that sounds good in your ears. And maybe you even do it to the metronome. So the metronome is this blue little thing that's flashing right now. I'm just clicking on it. That's near the top right corner of your screen. And it keeps time. If I was to push play right now, you're going to notice it going on. If I click it, it goes off. And so what you're going to want to do is to try to play along to the click. Maybe something like this. And so on. And so that might be my chord progression that I end up choosing to do. You might pick something else. Maybe you pick something like this. And I'm going to record this one here. So I'm not sure what happened there. Let's try this out. All right, and so I have my little chord progression here that goes on for 4 beats. So it goes from 1 to 5. That's 4 beats long. That's how most pieces work. They either go 4 or they go as much as 8. And that's when we're going to keep things relatively simple. So you're going to be playing around with that, pushing pause at this point, and then giving it a try, finding something that maybe you enjoy. And you might even use that to record. So the one that I recorded, I'm going to get rid of now, and I'm going to give you the one that most students ended up choosing to do. And that pattern is F, B flat, then C. So it's going to sound kind of like this. And then we're going to hold the C twice as long. So I'm going to try recording it now and see how that goes. Record that for twice as long as the other ones. Perfect. If you're happy with what you recorded, you're going to be pushing the rectangles near the top left, the solid rectangles. That's going to bring you to this editing screen right over here. And I noticed a couple things. First of all, this green bar was too long. I didn't push stop soon enough, which is fine. You can just drag it till you get to 5, and then that works nicely. The next thing is that not all these are on time. If you look over here and you zoom in, I hit the last note a little too early, and I let go of the other note a little too late. And if we go here, same idea. This second chord was played too early. So to change that up, one of the ways we can do that is you click on it, double click on it, you go to settings, and you're going to choose your quantization to be either an 8th or 16th note. And you can kind of notice if there's any difference. Sometimes there's not a big noticeable difference. So we'll go with a straight 1/16th note, and some of these aligned up a little bit better. They're not still great. There's still a little bit of a space in between here. There's still a little bit of a space in between here, but the other notes lined up nicely. So we're going to double tap and click Edit this time. Once we're inside here, what we're going to be doing is highlighting these notes. You can either do each individual one by just clicking on it and then dragging it by the edge. I'm putting my finger kind of right where the white arrows are, and then that allows it to enlarge. If you click somewhere in the middle, it drags the entire note. So you want to make sure you're going on the edge if you're wanting to make something smaller. And the only way to make something smaller again is it needs to have those arrows by it on the one side. So you notice I can't actually make this note smaller right now. And so if you don't like the way it worked there, I'm going to click Edit Undo a couple times here. I'm not going to edit undo that. There. Good. So I can clearly make it larger and smaller on this side right over here, like so. All right, these in the middle on beat 3 have lined up. And now we're going to line up the last ones. There's a second way to highlight things. Instead of highlighting each individual one, I'm going to highlight them all. You hold the screen down, or just push your finger on the screen and then drag up. I've connected all 3, and now I'm going to drag them until you see it like this. And so what we now see is the following. And so here's our very first chord progression. And so one of the things we're going to do, I keep clicking on the wrong thing. We're going to click on Done. We're done editing. We're now going to add a set of drums. And we do that by clicking the plus at the bottom left corner. And we're going to scroll over to Drums and then click Smart Drums. Where the hip-hop machine is near the left, you can click on it and choose a different option. I'm going to choose the Vintage Kit. You can choose to have all kinds of instruments on here, and then they can become more complex further to the right and less complex over here, where you're hitting them less frequently and in a less complex pattern. So I'm going to get rid of the cymbals. What I'm looking for is something with a hi-hat, kind of fancy-ish pattern with a hi-hat. Maybe a simple shaker that's not too loud. It goes quieter as you go down, louder as you go up. I want a loud kick. And then I want a fancy-ish snare. That's also loud too. This is pretty simple, not too bad. Maybe add some cymbals in there from time to time. We're going to go like this. Okay, perfect. We got what we need there. Let's see if we add this. No, we don't want the toms. All right, at this point, I'm going to push the red circle to record again. And then record for 4 measures long. So that's 1 measure, 2 measures, 3, and 4. Perfect. I'm going to click on my rectangles again and line up the drums so that they're only 4 beats long. And we have the start of our very first beat. And this was what the class was mostly about, was putting these 2 pieces together. But maybe you want to try creating your own chord progression, and you don't want to use the chord progression that I suggested, which was F to B flat to C. There was a couple people that chose to do one more thing where they added bass guitar. So we're going to go to Smart Bass. And this time right here, if you click on the top, it doesn't do anything. You got to click on the actual string by where it is. So remember, it's going to be F. It's going to be F to B flat to C. And maybe you want to add in a little bit of like rhythm. So let's try that. Maybe that's our pattern. You could have it just simple. Maybe we'll just keep it really simple and just keep hitting it on the quarter note. Watch this. Boom. Click on the rectangles, and then let's see how we did with timing. So again, we want to correct our timing. It's called quantization. That's how to correct it. You double tap this, click on settings, and we want to quantize this to the nearest, these are 16ths, I believe. So yeah, eighth notes doesn't really even do anything. So we're going to go on 16th notes, and then we're going to listen to it one more time to try to see, did that correct everything? Is everything in the right spot? Perfect. And so now we've just added a bass. And it was with the same kind of chords or slash bass notes as the soul organ, where it was the F to B flat to C. The last thing we're going to be doing is saving our project. So you're going to click on the top left. You might not have what's called My Songs. It might just look like a piece of paper, but it'll be on the top left corner. We click on that. And then you see that there isn't a song title. So we're going to have to click and hold. And then once this pops up, and again, yours might look a little bit different than this one, you're going to go ahead and rename. And we're going to be naming it what it is. It's F to B flat to C, and today's date, whatever today's date is for you. For me, if I can spell September right, it's the 14th. So whatever date it is for you, you can add that in there. I often like to name my stuff either the date or like my chord progression or even how fast the song was going at. Today we never picked how fast the song was going at. This song title was already given, so we're going to say number 2. And